This episode of the ChatGTM podcast is brought to you by Budget Branders, your source for custom branded cups and bags. So what makes them unique? Well, they source using a hybrid supply model, they import to keep prices low, and they have domestic backup to fill in the gaps. Learn more at budgetbranders.com or connect with Budget Branders on LinkedIn. And now it's time for the show. Hey, everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the ChatGTM podcast. It's your irascible host, Michael Beck with Ink Tank GTM, coming to you live here from Tampa, Florida. And with me, as almost always, my partner in crime, boon companion, the guy that keeps me honest in the marketplace, Mr. Chad Horn. Chad, how are you doing today, my friend?
I am well, Beck. I am well.
You are
Think
well?
anybody's listening to us now, finally?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think
I've
so.
been shouting into the night quite a bit. No, it's funny. I actually was looking at our metrics this morning, and I don't want to get too excited, but they're doing pretty good. We're in growth mode. We got new people tuning in and subscribing, but I would say none of it has to do with us. I think it has to do with the quality guests that we get on the show and the places we end up reporting back from. What do you think our reasoning is here?
Yeah, I keep hearing from people, and it's what you said, right? Like they like the people we have on and the wisdom they have to share, and so it's always humbling to get that.
We're just not that interesting. We have to find good, interesting people to have. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and I'll do our read-in for today's guest, which I have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of spice, because today we're joined by Miss Betsy Davis. She's the CMO or Chief Marketing Officer of Sandy Alexander. And Betsy's been helping brands rethink how they connect with customers, especially when it comes to blending physical and digital experiences in a way that actually drives results. She's also been pushing back on the idea that print is outdated and making a strong case for why it's not only still matters, that it really matters. And today we're getting into what's working, what's not, and where marketers should really be focusing right now. Betsy, welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. What's
Hello.
up?
That was almost like a Miss Doubtfire. Hello.
Hello, people.
I love her. How are you today, Betsy?
I'm well. I'm a little nervous because you talked about the wisdom that people are bringing. So I'm like,
the bar is low.
I bring some wisdom to the table today. Yeah,
it is a pretty high bar here. We've had some pretty good speakers, but
I can feel it. I can feel it. I'll try to reach it.
Okay, we'll warm up on it. All right.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. I love the color in your room. Like we sometimes talk to people that are just in a vacuum and you wonder if they just winked into the matrix, and you have all kinds of splashes of color. It's like a Jackson Pollock painting in there.
I mean, I'm in print. It's all about 4-color process. It's all about ink and color. And so, yes, I was telling you guys, I'm at my lake house and it is my happy place. And I surround myself with the colors that I love and the atmosphere I love. So I'm here. Yeah, we're here for
You're
it.
right.
I want to go to her parties.
It would be a big letdown.
You guys, I am turning 50 and I just had an epic party. I celebrated a little bit early because we went to the British Virgin Islands. So my birthday is during hurricane season. So we fast forwarded it. And everybody I know should have been on that trip. But it was, so yes, you do want to party with me. It's a good time. It's fun.
All right. I'm putting myself on the guest list or the reserve guest list or the reserve guest list.
Yes.
So, well, let's dig in. And Betsy, again, thank you so much. And even before we started going here, I already had some new learnings about what you guys are doing over there around print, but it's not so much the print side, it's the digital side. So tell us a little bit for the audience who might have been under a rock and doesn't know what Sandy Alexander is, what you do or who you do business with or who your customer is. Tell us a little bit about just what you guys do.
Yeah, of course. So I've been in this print industry for 25 years. And Sandy Alexander was one of those names that everybody always heard. And it's like this, company. They've just been known in the industry for a long time. We've been around for 65 plus years. And it's all because of the brands that we have the opportunity to work with and the type of work that we do. So we're a printer. So we're ink on paper. So for people that don't know what that means, which most people that I meet, most of my friends don't even know what that means. So
really,
yeah, I have to explain it all the time. But it's all the things you get in your mailbox. So we do catalogs for companies like J. Crew and Banana Republic. So when you get those in your mailbox, we've probably printed them. Or your girlfriend's wives get all of the coupons in the mail from Victoria's Secret and American Eagle and those kinds of folks. We're doing that type of direct mail. So it's ink on paper, it's marketing communications, annual reports for people like Pepsi and Bank of America. We do
wow.
in-store signage for the retail industry. So when you walk into a retail environment and you see all the signs in the store, or the signs around the on the tabletops, we're printing those for major companies. And
Wow.
then industry that you guys talk about a lot, the restaurant space. It's one
That's
of
our
our favorites.
tribe.
It's one of our favorites, and we do one of the things that people pick up and touch every time they're in a restaurant and don't think about where it comes from, the menu. So we do menu production for a lot of the major casual dining brands out there. So Darden, that owns Olive Garden, Outback,
Yeah.
Denny's, Applebee's, TGI Fridays, those folks are customers of ours and have been for a long time. And we tap in technology to support them on that. So
Okay.
that's
Let's drill into
yeah,
that part. Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have static items that are menus, and then you're talking about a technology play in there. Where is it that Sandy Alexander is bringing in technology to merge these two, the physical and the digital, so to speak?
Yeah, so let's talk menus really quickly because when you
Yeah.
say static, it's interesting. It feels static to the person that's holding it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about 1,200 Olive Gardens as an example across
Yeah.
the country, there's little nuances to each of those menus. You're in Tampa, I'm in Oklahoma, somebody's in California. That menu feels very different. It might be a different
Yes.
wine, it might be a different craft beer, whatever it is that's changing. And so there's a lot of data that manages what is going onto each of the menus depending on what part of the country and restaurant it's delivering to.
Mm.
So nutritional facts could be different, terms and conditions could be included, all those types of things that we call aversion. A lot of restaurants are managing that via an Excel spreadsheet, and their menu managers are taking weeks to develop that next quarterly rollout or
Mm.
their next LTO menu because it's managed all through a database or an Excel spreadsheet. We take all of that and put it into a platform from a technology perspective that is managing that in a database and a SQL database, managing all of those ins and outs, and then all of the graphical assets that make that menu come to life,
Mm.
all the images of the food and all of those things. We also are taking those and creating these menus. So what would take 3 weeks to do from an Excel spreadsheet, we're literally doing it in minutes using
Wow.
our what we call our Dine Tech platform.
So DineTech is a bit of a CMS or content management system that's aligned with the menu items that they provide, and then intelligently putting together based on regionals and the type of things that sell in those regions.
Yep. So all the business logic behind it sits in that database. So we have all the data, we have all the digital assets, and we are creating a final print ready piece. And
Yeah.
we could be producing, you know, 400 versions that are going to 1,200 restaurants in
Wow.
one print run, and then we're distributing that across the country for the clients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chad, jump in here.
So, as you've noted, Betsy, we spend time in the restaurant industry, and particularly around technology and
Mm.
innovation. If I think about printing, that
Yes.
word, it feels very old and commoditized.
Hmm.
Technology is not as much as in broadly, it's more rapidly evolving. So, for Sandy Alexander, how do you blend commodity things that have just been perfected over decades and more innovative, newer, cutting edge technology?
Yeah. I mean, we all live in this digital world, right? And so we have, as printers, if we want to stay alive, we have to figure out a way to be able to blend those two.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And the great part is, so there's ways that we use technology to streamline the process of creating print, like we do for the restaurant industry. It just makes it, because it's a commodity piece. Um, we have to figure out ways to do it quicker, smarter, faster, easier, and the technology helps us do that. So it's economies of scale, it's efficiencies at scale, and the technology is driving that piece. So that's one core component of why we have to invest in technology in our business, so we can just do things again smarter, faster, better. Then there's the technology that we invest in that help our customers combine their digital marketing strategies with a direct mail strategy.
Mm.
Mm.
And so like we've just launched a new technology that's out there that we're calling DMAI. It's listen, I'm the chief marketing officer, and that's as good of a name as I could come up with. I mean, give me a break. But it's direct mail plus AI. I clearly need to get to work on my job, but but for now it's working. But no, listen, we have to figure out ways to make what people are used to engaging with, a QR
Yeah.
code as an example,
Mhm.
but using a very traditional channel that has been proven to work to get response and to drive revenue, which is direct mail. How do we
Yeah.
combine those two? And so that's a big component of what we're doing. The other piece that we do is another technology that we custom developed called MailPath. That's a custom application that we use within Salesforce.com, CRM. Um, a lot of companies are using it, healthcare, pharmaceutical are using it for their digital communications, triggering triggering a digital communication based on an activity. So,
Mhm.
a new member for a healthcare customer or a healthcare company, they immediately send a new member email communication, welcome to UHC,
Right.
whatever. What they're finding is that people aren't responding to the digital piece anymore because we're all inundated with emails
It's
and all of that.
saturated. It's very saturated.
Totally
Yeah.
saturated. So
Yeah.
now they're like, you know what? Let's sprinkle in some direct mail and hit their mailbox at home
Yeah.
with the same message, with the same. And what they're seeing happening is people are now responding. And so what used to be a less than 1% response rate on a digital communication solo, when they combine it with direct mail, they're now seeing a 10% response rate, a 12% response rate. Yeah.
So they're doing both. It's not one or the other that they're taking they're putting a line in both fishing holes here, so to speak, to make sure they're going to catch something.
And you need to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Is there a creative element to your business, or are you purely doing the print work? Or if somebody says, "Hey, listen, we're starting from scratch," or our setup is okay, but we'd really like to improve that. Are you also the creative agency, or is that coming through their creative agency?
Most of the time it comes through a creative agency.
Hmm.
And a lot of the times the brands that we work with have their own internal creative and brand teams that are
Yep.
part of their own internal corporate network. But we can. We don't do it internally. We have a lot of really talented partners and
Yep.
agencies we've worked with for a long time that oftentimes focus on a particular marketplace that we might work with. And so we can
Yeah.
steer them that way. Um, but we also work with a lot of data companies. So a lot of people are also trying to really understand their data. How do I find 50,000 customers that look like my top spenders now? How do I go
Yeah.
find more of those people? So we also work with data companies to do modeling and lookalike and data analysis to really help them hone in on how do I go find additional customers.
Yeah.
But we love sitting at the table as early as we possibly can so we can help strategize. We don't just want to be the ink on paper. We really want to understand what the goal and objective of the campaign is and how we can help them accomplish it.
Does it also go down the rabbit hole of, because there's some knitted conversations you talked about here. We're doing a digital strategy that probably has to marry to the same content and style as our print strategy, which probably should marry to the same thing as what we're going to be doing inside of our trade show booth and layouts. You guys go down the whole pathway of dye sub printing on fabrics for visual frame and extrusion profiles?
We do. Look at you.
Holy
Dye
crap, I
sub and
knew so.
extrusion. I mean, like
Every
all
now
the
and then Chad
words.
goes, "How'd you know all that?"
Okay,
Yeah.
Michael Beck. Watch out. Watch out. If you need a
Platform for Beck
job,
to
you
show
can.
off.
Here's my
I used to
email
work with
address.
Highlight Holland. Highlight. They do a lot of print work for musical and entertainment, and so I took a journey out there for a while and did some work with them. So I do know some
That's
of this
awesome.
stuff. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm a
well,
big fan of visual printing.
so we do a lot of that, and it's one of the like it's so much fun. I actually was just doing emails before you guys jumped on this morning, working
Yeah.
on a project for one of my healthcare customers, but we're doing graphics for their corporate offices and building a three-dimensional person and vinyl on the walls and wallpaper and all the
Some
things. And
backlit.
so
Ooh.
some backlit. Let's go.
Yeah, that
Um,
pops.
so yeah, so what that's the fun part is that I talk about some of the major brands that we work with. We get to work with them on their catalog, but then we also help them with their in-store. And then we also get to help them create a pop-up shop that's going to go up in New York City and Times Square for a
Hmm.
weekend or so we get to help do all of those bits and pieces. And it's something that we love doing. I mentioned to you guys before we jumped on that we have facilities all over the country. So
Yeah.
goes to New Jersey and LA. And one of the things that we take a lot of pride in at Sandy is color management. And so whenever you're using multiple channels, so we do business with companies that I can't say the name, but because it's that important,
Oh, okay.
that fancy, that I
So
can't,
fancy.
so fancy, but their brand is so important to them that we do billboards for them. So you're
Yeah.
thinking, massive huge on the street looking at them. We might wrap a building for them, that type of thing. But then we also would do something for their in store and we might do something for their direct mail. All of that has to have that same brand consistency.
Mhm.
And so all of our equipment, regardless of whether it's a dye sub or whether it's a 60-pound offset, which none of you guys probably know what that means. Maybe Michael, you do. The color, we want it to still have that same feel and still
Yeah.
represent the brand in a really strong way. And so color management is something that we take really seriously.
Well,
That's
good colors are energizing and almost emotional. And like you can land very hard with a good red, right? Or a blue, or what's going to take you to that place.
And the reds and the blues are sometimes the hardest ones to hit. The
Yeah.
Coca-Cola red, I mean,
Yeah.
some of the vendors we work with have built their platforms on trying to make sure they can hit the Coca-Cola red
Mm,
or the
Yep.
Home Depot orange or whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
Chad?
Yeah.
So Betsy, it was your AI in direct mail capabilities that
Mhm.
more recently caught our attention.
Yeah.
And anticipating this conversation last week, we were at the restaurant marketing workshop, and I asked the CMO of a fried chicken chain about that. And it's like, how would you think about AI personalizing direct mail? And very quickly, he just distilled it down to cost per piece. It's like,
Mm.
I wasn't interested as much of like which variables in AI do you tweak with AI and what does the impact? Yeah, well, that's probably too expensive. How do you reframe that conversation around cost per piece to something more experiential and value based these days?
Yeah, I mean, the best part about this DMAI solution are the insights that a company gets, like a fried chicken chain or whoever it is.
Mhm.
So let me just take a step back and describe what this is that we're doing. So you get a direct mail piece. We're printing a QR code on that. The recipient, Michael Beck, gets it in his mailbox. He scans the QR code. An AI agent comes up and immediately starts legitimately having a conversation with
Oh.
Michael
Okay.
Oh.
about the brand. So whether it's about the promotion that you're pushing, whether it's the catalog and you're asking, you want to ask about, for me, it's, the dress on page 12, whatever it is. Um, and you're having a conversation with the agent, and can ask a multitude. And we've obviously, in advance of all of this, built the learn language model around it and fed it
Mhm.
all of the gory details about the business and all the questions. Um, as those conversations are happening, we're capturing that conversation. So we're capturing it in an actually voice recorded conversation and we're capturing it in a transcript. We're able to feed that back to the brand and to the marketers there that say, here's everybody that scanned it, one, but here's the conversations that were had. And so very quickly you can start to recognize what is it that our customers are asking about?
Mhm.
What are the products that they're most interested in? What are they frustrated about? What are they wanting to see out of us as a brand? And so we're feeding that back. And so what they're able to do is either change the marketing message for the next campaign. They can reach out to customers and answer those questions. They can, if they've shown interest in a product but don't buy, they can do that next digital step of sending an email, retargeting them to come back and purchase. So it's just giving them a real truly an insider's perspective into what that buyer is thinking and asking about their
Mm.
brand.
I love it that you're not
Kinda
throwing
hard to
it over the
it's kinda hard
fence.
to put a dollar on that in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
but
what you're
that
gonna
that makes it actionable, like, right away.
immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So we actually just used it for our own campaign. We drank our own Kool-Aid, and we did a direct mail campaign to some of our prospects and clients, and we used DMAI, and we had customers engaging with it. I'm
Oh,
getting that data. I'm feeding those leads to my reps, and they're immediately picking up the phone and calling, or they are reaching out and having about to that customer saying, "Hey, heard you were asking this question about direct mail. Here's the details on it." So,
So how does that work for your clients? I'm your client. We work together. We set up a DMAI campaign. My QR code is embedded in your content. Talk to me about how that experience then flows from your platform to my CRM, my inbox, my action plan.
yeah. So there's a dashboard that you access as part of that. So you can in real time see all the interaction. You can see the scans. You can see the transcripts. You can see everything. We can also do an integration
Mhm.
back into your CRM. So
Mm.
as soon as somebody scans it, it's hitting your that customer's contact and information in their account, or it's triggering it can send an email trigger to a sales rep to follow up, or it can send a trigger to, their marketing cloud or journey builder or whatever is kind of triggering their next steps in the journey to have them execute an email campaign. So we can do those integrations with the CRM, but you also, again, have a dashboard where you can see in real time exactly what's happening with those pieces. Not only that people are scanning it, but we can also show you that it's hit Chad's mailbox at home. And so people are using that information to know when they want to trigger the email communication. So it's now hit his mailbox. 2 days from now, I'm going to hit him with an email with the exact same message, with the exact same, call to action
Hmm.
to get them to engage.
Do you guys call this, do you ever use the word phygital to describe this experience because it's like physical to digital?
We use it all the time, Chad.
Love it.
We use it all the time. We've said it on Color Bar a handful of times that we're in a phygital world. We're just living in a phygital world. But no, it's real. I mean, we laugh about it, but it's a real thing. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about a toy called a fidgetal spinner now. Um,
Yes.
So, question, Betsy, like we all get mail. What makes the difference between something that's readable and tossable? Like what, because there's some things that just come in, I see that M on it and I'm like, that's going in the garbage. I don't even know what that was, but I've seen 100 of them. What makes the difference in your process that catches the eye, that catches the attention that you need in that half a second? Did I make that judgment where I'm going to put it on my counter or in my bin?
Yep. So there's a couple of things. We say this all the time. The data is kind of the number one first thing that companies need to worry about, because if you have shit data, it's not getting into the people that you want, or you're mailing it to somebody that doesn't live there. You're wasting a bunch of money, because we all know postage is expensive.
Yep.
So data is number one. The offer is number two. So, and I don't know about you guys, but if I'm spending enough with a certain company, I expect them to know me, right? I think we
Yes.
all now have this expectation of, if I'm spending this much money, Gucci,
Yep.
you need to know that I'm buying shoes, not bags, or whatever the case is.
We're having a lot of conversations about the VIP these days, so 100%.
Yeah. And so if you were to get something and it was addressed to you, and it was, you live in Tampa, but they're sending you mountain ski wear, that doesn't make, that doesn't make any sense. It may not make any sense for you. And so the offer and the content have to really align with who you are. So your percentage off potentially might be different than Chad's percentage off, because you are your lifetime value is higher, and they know that. And so, so the offer and the content is one. And then personalization is a big part. Again, expecting you to know who we are. So we want you to actually feel like you're having a conversation with me, the person that you know as a buyer.
Yeah.
If that's wrong, people get lost really quickly. Or, you know what, never mind. And then the second piece is the format. There's pieces that you get, those big, huge postcards in the mail. It may not be the first thing that you throw in the trash, but if you get the, I don't even want to say the name, because I might be trying to get them as a client. If you are, you get a piece in the mail from somebody, you're like, you know what, this is just another one of those letter packets from XYZ company. It's going in the trash. But things like a snap pack, if you think about when you get your W-2 and it's got it feels very, very formal and like, oh God, I didn't pay my taxes kind of moment. Like you feel like you're in trouble, so you've got to open it.
Yeah.
People are doing that.
Or something lumpy or bulky, right?
Something that you can feel, like it feels like there might be a credit card in there, or there's something in there that I need to be paying attention to. So people are now like putting magnets on a letter because you can feel it tactfully through the envelope. They're using snap packs because you feel like it's a very formal piece that you need to open, or because something's wrong, but it's really just a retail offer. Like there's things that you can do from a formatting perspective that make you take pause and make it sit on your countertop a little bit longer. Yeah.
Chad?
Beyond the CMO, because I'm sure you work with CMOs at brands, other people on the team, because you've talked about data. Do you have to interface with the CIOs, the CTOs on the data side? Because
all the time.
They're going to have to provide you data to personalize those offers.
And integrations, it sounds like.
A lot of integration. I mean, I've said this so many times that I talk more about API integrations and data and SQL databases and the operating platforms and ERPs and all these things more than I talk CYMK. because of all of that. But the thing that's fun for us is that so interesting. You think that you're going to work with these major brands and they've got it all figured out. And then you have a campaign where you bring print and digital and data and all these things together. And it's many times the first time those teams have ever worked cohesively on a program, on a project, on a campaign.
Hmm.
The first time for the digital team and the direct mail team to come together is sometimes a campaign that we're doing. They've never even had a reason to collaborate together. So it's really fun watching these teams come together and cross-pollinate within an organization to see something come together. But yeah, so it's a lot of working with their CRM and loyalty teams that might be working with whatever their CRM or their ERP system is or their POS systems are and are the data crunchers. There's the data analytics folks, there's the performance analytics teams, so there's the digital strategy teams that you start to work with, and then there's, the creatives. So you oftentimes will have 4 or 5 different silos of folks and departments within an agency or a company that are all coming together to work on one campaign.
Hmm.
Very cool.
Betsy, you open up an interesting door there, and I have to imagine that with pure print, that measuring ROI or attribution had to be a little bit challenging. You're literally sending something out there and not knowing potentially who grabbed it, right?
Right.
And it sounds like that's changing now. I mean, especially if I can click a QR code, I can definitely measure that. But tell me a little bit about how people are measuring, today with print, their ROI and their attribution.
Yeah. QR codes are big. Even in an in-store space, you'll start to
Mhm.
see that people are using QR codes on signage now and getting people
Mhm.
to engage with the product in store.
Yep.
There's still the very basic phone number, you know, dial us for this. There's pearls. There's still personal landing pages that people are using, directing people to go somewhere to get more information. Um, but what we often don't get from our customers, which is unfortunate, but clearly when people are doing catalogs, they are recognizing that once the catalog hits in home,
Mhm.
and they're always trying to have those hidden home to align with a back to school campaign or a holiday
Right.
campaign or a grand openings or, seasonal sale.
Yep.
They know that they see a lift in traffic after that catalog hits, whether it's online or whether it's in store. And they can tie back to, and they're doing that. So they're looking at who do we send these catalogs to?
Mhm.
Who made a purchase online, who came in store and purchased. They're cross-referencing those and seeing when they see that lift. And
Lift,
so
yeah.
although it's not necessarily something that's necessarily part of the print, but they also are giving special offers. So we're still seeing a lot of our customers do coupons that are part of the direct mail piece. People are still bringing those into store, or they're sitting at their computers and using that special offer and loading in the gift card number or loading in that promotional code.
Right.
So they know where that's coming from. And so they're
Got it.
able to track the attribution that way as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Chad?
And it doesn't have to be a restaurant example, but ideally,
Okay.
what's one of your favorite campaigns you've ever seen a
Ooh.
brand do?
For restaurant. Um, oh, this is a good one. So we do work with Applebee's.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they have you guys seen, like, we have them standing around the shop, but it's Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, and we have standees of them
Oh, Lord.
for campaigns that we've done. It's so fun because, like, we literally, like, we'll be in a executive board meeting or something, and all of us are posing with Martha
I love
Stewart
watching those 2 together.
Martha Stewart and
Yeah.
Snoop
Yeah.
standees. I mean, so that's one that's fun. One that I can't necessarily, because I don't think it's in market yet, but it's been really fun working with one of our customers that is taking a completely different they're wanting to refresh a bit
Mm.
and kind of rethink the brand and rethink
Mm.
how they're going to market. And part of that was simply just even changing the size of the menu, but we've seen their creative process, we've seen what they're doing from an art and creative and branding perspective and how we're tying that into the menu creative
Mm.
and doing that, and so I'm excited for that one to get to market because it is a little different, but I think it's gonna resonate well. One day we'll have to come back and we can talk about who I'm talking about,
Okay.
but
She
Well,
said she's coming back,
those are
Chad.
the moments that are fun when you get to sit around the table right? And
Yeah.
know what their objective is, and for us to get to play a part and how we're going to help them execute it, and see kind of where their brains were when it went to market, I think is really fun, and that we get to be a part of that. What's another one? I don't know. I just love watching these people's brains work. Like we were at a customer, and they were with Carrabba's,
Mm.
and this woman that we were talking to had come up with this idea of doing like making the wine bottle, like when they were carrying out a glass of wine, it always came on this tray with all of these things and like dessert, and like it became this experiential moment.
Mm.
And she was like, we just knew that if people saw it walking by, that it was going to capture their eye. And she's like, we saw the sales go like this. And so just seeing people, and we were part of the limited time offer,
Yeah.
piece of it, and the branding that we're sitting on the tables, kind of promoting that campaign. But yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun watching people's brains get creative and see, and then to be able to go sit down in a restaurant and see it and touch it and know that you were a part of it is always pretty fun.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
In that same vein, when you're out there as a diner or a shopper, what are some of the guerrilla tactics you see restaurants or businesses doing? Like, God, I wish they'd stop doing that stuff. It's not helping them. This is something I think would be really valuable to our watchers and listeners. Is some of these guys are just figuring it out and making it up as they go. Like, what's a tip you give them to say, what, stop doing that shit?
Yeah. God, that's a
Wait, I
really
didn't
good
beat myself. There we go.
Yeah, no, I know. I said shit earlier, you should
Oh,
maybe
I
beat
got.
that
All
later in
right,
the
good.
editing.
All right.
No. Um, man, you know what's interesting? And it wasn't a guerrilla tactic, but
Yeah.
let's go back to the beautiful years of COVID.
Diddly, diddly, diddly. All right, we're here.
Um, but we all had the digital menu,
Yes.
right? And so we
Yep.
were a part of those conversations too. And it's so interesting, you guys, what it did to the sales for restaurants. So, like, we're just really glad that they're going back to touch a hand
Tactile, yeah.
menu, tactile.
Yeah.
Um, so the whole, we all have that QR code moment. Like, do you guys do the airport travel where you have to scan the QR code to even get somebody to come and talk to you? I'm like,
I hate it.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
away with
Yeah.
that. Like, hand me a menu. I'm gonna actually, and I'm gonna get my glass of wine and don't even
Mhm.
ask. I want a 9 ounce. Just by the way, you can skip the 6 ounce question. I want the 9.
Get it right,
Um,
loyalty people. No,
let's
just kidding.
go. But like if I have a menu, I'm actually gonna scan, and I might get a snack. I might get
Yeah.
something else. But if I'm having to scan the QR code and go through all that, I might just get me what I want and make it easy.
Mhm.
So fortunately, we've seen most of our casual dining brands really go back to the physical menu, and moving away from the QR code. But yeah, if you're still doing it, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or at least offer both, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
one's pretty much free to have, the QR code. The menu is something that just adds more value. Like, I'm in a place, I'm enjoying this moment.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chad?
that's right.
For a print company, you have the words on your website, new experiences. And so,
Mhm.
how do you guys as a team, as a company, make sure your customers, right? And there's that degree of separation. You're thinking about the experiences they're able to deliver to their guests. How do you ensure that you're able to lead those customers in making sure it actually shows up in the real world as an experience for
Mhm.
their guests or customers?
Yeah. We do have to lean on our customers quite a bit to be able to really kind of have the vision. But for us, it's ensuring that it's a good experience once it happens.
Mm.
We work with Universal Studios, and so Fright Night and those fun, seasonal moments that are happening
Yeah.
at the amusement parks. Um, and you know what that experience is like, right? But there's a lot that goes into creating that moment.
Yeah.
So if it's graphics on the park streets, those graphics need to stay there. If it's something that's three-dimensional and people are going to be bumping it and touching it and doing all the things, you want it to survive those 3 weeks of Halloween. And
Yes.
so working with them to really understand what do we need to do to make sure that these are durable and sustainable and give that wow moment that we're all wanting to capture for
Mhm.
the experience. How do we do that in a way that will reflect the brand stay strong through the process. So that's really kind of what we're doing to make sure that that experience is top notch and is the same for every single person that walks through that experience. Yeah.
Um, who isn't a fit for a potential client of Sandy Alexander? Like, I mean, is it everybody that
No,
should be
it's
your
not.
customer? Like, who's
Yeah,
a good fit
I
for you
would love
guys?
to say that everybody is. We actually just had this conversation yesterday about the dining market.
Yep.
Um, we, if you are an emerging brand and you have 15 restaurants as a footprint, we're not going to be the right fit for you. We just need to have more of an economies of scale
Yeah.
type of approach. But if you are 100 restaurants and you're growing, we want to be there. We want to be right there with you because you're in that phase of we've probably outgrown who we've
Mm-hmm.
been working with when we had 10, and we just need to start thinking about, "Oh, well, now we might probably need technology to do it smarter, faster, better. We need to have somebody that can grow with us as we're growing rapidly. Like First Watch, we've just started working with a
Love
fantastic
First
brand.
Watch.
That's good. I mean, their brunches are amazing.
Yeah.
Avocado toast, highly recommend.
Candied bacon.
Candy bacon. They have a wonderful granola yogurt bowl. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
um, neither here nor there. But so yeah, so there are brands that just, if you're small and, we probably aren't going to be the best fit. But if you are growing, we want to be there with you to help scale. We do that a lot with even healthcare companies. Like
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of these kind of tech-driven healthcare companies that kind of come out of nowhere and then they end up growing really quickly. They need people that can scale with them and go through open enrollment seasons with these huge peaks
Mm.
of volume. And so those are fits for us. But yeah, we do have to walk away from stuff on occasion.
I imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Chad?
So we talked about how QR code on direct mail can lead to, I'll call it an experience with AI and
Mhm.
chat experience.
Yep.
And I want to extend on that, right? So because it's so relatively, compared to what it used to be, cheap, fast to build technology, build an experience. And how have you seen this kind of show up in your world and the conversations, even if it's in planning, to say, all right, well, now we can build this, or a customer can build this experience on the other end of that QR code or whatever the entry point is, because we've always had these great ideas. We've always been creative. Now we can actually execute things we
Mm.
couldn't execute before. Is that coming up in campaign talk?
Yeah, what's interesting though? I don't think for most of the people that we've talked to, it's like this moment. Like, we can do that. We can do that. Shit. Beep. We can finally do that. Like, there you go. Um, like people literally are kind of taken aback by it. Like we all love AI and we
Yeah.
all are like kind of just finally, I feel like we're all kind of diving right in, but
Right.
it was still kind of that moment of, ooh, can it, and could it do this? And could it do this? Oh my God. Could it do this? Like it's those kinds of conversations, which are so fun to have. I think the part that has been frustrating for me is that everybody gets it, everybody sees it, but they still are afraid to take that leap.
Hmm.
Like it's
What are
still a
Yeah.
little too, is it a little too far? Is it a little too much? Do we want to have our teams take the time to work on something like that? Um, so I'm hoping that more people are willing to kind of take the leap and go for it because to your point, it doesn't take much time. I mean, my God, I just said that we did it for our own campaign. If I can do it,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, so can a major, billion-dollar brand can definitely pull it off. So yeah, I mean, it's fairly easy. We can do it really quickly. It's like a 2-3 week process of getting it done, and we can get into market. And the other thing I love about it is A/B testing.
Mm.
This is
Yeah.
perfectly suited for an A/B test kind of moment. This one didn't work. Let's shift gears really quickly. And there's no cost to do it. Once you build it once, you can continue to use that same agent on a different piece. And so maybe the offer is different or the format of the printed piece is different. It's a catalog versus a postcard this go around, but
Yeah.
you're using the same QR code and the same agent. So there's no additional cost to do it. Um, so Chad, I'm ready for people to let the walls down and step out of the fear part and just take a chance on this one.
So I have a personal anecdote that landed this weekend that was exactly this. So, Chad, I had to be part of a celebration of life.
Mhm.
One of my neighbors passed, and I'm the local neighbor that is the alchemist pyrobug. And they asked me to put the cremated remains in a 6-round 3-inch mortar display of fireworks. Right. And so I went to the local fireworks store, and they had QR codes with every single firework. And when I looked at them, when I go put my phone up to each firework, it would show me the display, the actual show that firework gives off, not just a sexy box with all the colors on the box that mean nothing to what's actually in that thing. I could see the display I was about to give.
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
Yes.
Because you don't have to
Yes.
guess. So you don't know if you have a shower or a bunch of explosions or whatever. So I got the perfect display, and I sent this guy off literally with a bang. And everybody loved it.
That is the
But
sweetest, oddest thing ever, but I love it. I'm here for it.
I am a sweet and odd man. So yes, but
love it.
that is a real world example of how a vendor is using that to drive sales, because now it's not, I'm not going to buy it because I don't know what it does. I know exactly what it does. I know how it looks. I know how it
Perfect.
sounds. I can hear the crackle and pop and the shimmer and everything that happens. It was fantastic.
Perfect example. We talk about it a lot for high valued items.
Yeah.
A really good fit. Like if you think about buying a refrigerator, buying whatever it is, you go to Home Depot and you're buying
Yeah.
these major things.
Yeah.
To be able to scan a QR code, those are the moments where you'll actually spend the time to sit and listen to a video or watch or learn or whatnot. So
Yeah.
a real opportunity there. But what you just described, we can also do, which is almost more of an augmented reality type
Mhm.
of moment.
19 Crimes Wine.
Yes. So we've
Seven
done
Zins did it too.
we've done this for some of our automotive customers.
Yeah.
BMW, we did one where it's an augmented reality, and so next thing you know, you see the BMW driving down
Yeah.
the street, and you're involved in it. We've done it with some of our, entertainment customers, where you are immersed in the experience. So yeah, the augmented
Wow.
reality part is also something that I feel is underused that people could really be tapping into.
Yeah. So
So
you take
what's
something
behind
flat
that
and bring it to
push
life. Well,
to experiment, the push to push the boundaries? What's behind that fear, and what's the unlock to get people out of their own way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is truly just understanding to just test it. Like you don't, do it with a small customer base. We don't have to send it to hundreds of thousands of people. Let's test it with 10,000, 50,000
Mm.
people. Let's do an A/B test and see how it works. Let's do a limited time. You don't have to put the whole kitchen sink into it and have all this risk associated with it. That's the other thing that everybody's very concerned about. Well, what if it says something I don't want it to? Or what if, and we're able to set guardrails around it. So if
Right.
somebody asks a ridiculous question, inappropriate question, we can train the bot to be like, I see what you're doing there. We're not here to talk about that. We can make it
Right.
jovial. You can make it kind of, fun to shift gears and get them back within the guardrails that we've put up. So, yeah, I think just testing it. And again, the cost isn't anything,
Right.
crazy. It really isn't. And give it a shot. Yeah, give it a shot.
Very cool. All right. It's time to shift gears into rapid fire so we can land the plane on time here.
Okay.
Are you ready, Sandy? Oh, sorry, Sandy. That's Betsy. Sorry. I got Sandy on my brain
I've been
now.
told worse. It's okay.
I got the whole
All right, here
right.
we go. First question. What part of being a CMO do you genuinely love?
Ooh, just the creative part, being able to let my mind go all kinds of directions.
Love it. What's something about you that your team would be surprised to learn?
I have tattoos.
So many questions. All right. What's one decision you've made as a leader that really shaped you? And it wasn't the tat.
It wasn't the tat. It was definitely not the tat. Okay, what was the question? Decision as a
What's
leader that
a
shaped
decision
me?
you made as a leader that really shaped you? Like the thing you had to live with that went well or didn't go well, but what really, foundationally shifted you there?
You know what? When I've quit a job that I was a leader in, with no real plan, and I was okay with that. But it's taken me to where I'm sitting today, and I'm really okay with that. But
Okay.
having the faith and the courage to make those big leaps.
Love it.
Yep.
What do you care more about now in your career than you did 5 years ago?
Seeing people around me succeed.
Ooh, love it.
I
What
love
kind?
when
Huh?
I love when my team gets a big win. I love celebrating those moments.
That's awesome. What kind of work gives you energy and what drains it?
The energy part is the selling and working with customers. Like I love that part. The draining part is the complaining about the little stuff. I mean, I know that's just part of it, but
Yeah.
when people, as a leader, people come to you with all the things.
Yep.
And sometimes those little nagging things, I'm like, oh, really? Uh, Let's move on
I
to
can see
what we're
that.
here to do. So, if I'm
Okay.
honest, that, yeah.
What's something outside of work that influences how you show up as a leader?
My faith. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Um, yeah.
Last question. If
Yeah.
someone worked with you for a year, what would they say about you?
um, no, you know what? I
Should
actually
I
just
get my
got off.
bleeper back out again?
No, yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Um, no, I actually just hung up the phone with the guy that I've worked with for a long time,
Yeah.
actually. But we had a call with a woman that just had this energy that was just infectious. And he was like, Betsy, it was like watching your twin sister on that conference call with you. So I don't know. There's just an energy and life is too short and let's just we're not solving, you know, we're not solving anything crazy here. We're
Yeah.
having fun, doing print, marketing, doing our thing. So I like to have fun. I like to encourage people. You guys have hopefully experienced a little bit of it today. This is just
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We let down our mask and just let it fly. So I can see how you give the permission to be yourself, so to speak, and
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
flows from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Betsy, this has been awesome. I appreciate you spending time with us. For people that don't know how to get to Sandy Alexander, what's the website? Is it sandyalexander.com or
SandyAlexander.com.
sandyalexander.com?
SANDY. Yep.
Boom,
Yep.
love it.
Two names. SandyAlexander.com.
And are
Or
you?
email me at Betsy@sandyalexander.com.
And I know I
BETSY.
just sent you a LinkedIn today. So do you
And I just
typically
accepted
meet up
it.
with people on LinkedIn? I know.
Yes, absolutely. I'm on LinkedIn. We also have our own podcast called Color Bar.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah. You guys can return the favor. You can come on Color Bar. We can keep chatting
All day.
all
All
day.
day. Yeah, I'm gonna take you up on that.
Yeah, I would love it.
Uh,
So all the ways. Yep.
and then lastly, where if people want to see you guys, see the quality of your prints, to see at a trade show event, anything you guys are gonna be presenting at in the near future, are you guys doing any of the circuit in Q2, Q3, Q4?
You know what? Q1 was our nutty time. And so we kind of knocked everything out in Q1. We went to RLC, we went to Women in
Yeah.
Restaurant Leadership, we were at Store Point, we were at Women in Retail. So we've kind of knocked it all. We've knocked it all out. We're already starting to. But anybody that wants us to come, start hitting me up now so we can plan budgets for 2020,
Oh,
2027.
all
Yeah,
right. Well,
yeah,
fantastic. Well, I really appreciate it, Betsy. You were awesome today. Your energy is fantastic. I'm very curious about this lake you live on. Anybody that's got a water view. You know, the funny thing is I think you probably have that with your neighbors. Everybody's jealous of each other's view because it's different from their own, even though
yeah,
theirs is great.
yeah. It's pretty stinking good. Grand Lake of the Cherokees is where I live, and yeah, I get to sit and stare at this all day while I work.
That
So
does not suck.
it does not suck.
That does
That's right.
not suck.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you so much today. We're going to wrap up our call with Betsy, with Sandy Alexander, and you know how to get to her. If you don't, look us up. We'll track her down for you. But if not, it's sandyalexander.com. And for now, this is Chad, Michael, and Betsy signing off. And as always, like we like to close with random acts of kindness, sprinkle that stuff everywhere. You never know whose day you're going to make better, just like Betsy made our day better by spending time with us crazy guys. So we really appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
Bye, y'all.